What is up guys, welcome back to another Geekawatt video, and today I'm taking you over a fantastic $500 gaming PC build for 2018. This build strikes a fantastic sweet spot for budget 1080p gaming and extrapolates as much value as possible for you the consumer. Whether it's Overwatch or CSGO, GTA 5 or Fortnite, yes it can run Fortnite. This build will give you some really fantastic frame rates at some really quite decent settings. Performance figures aside though, I'll link all the parts mentioned in today's video in the description below for different regions and retailers, but let's kick it off with the CPU. For the processor in this build, I actually selected an APU, which combines a CPU and GPU unit into one single unit to get the most possible value and best performance at lower price points. The Ryzen 5 2400G pairs AMD's fantastic and revolutionary new graphics engine, new graphics chips with a Ryzen 5 CPU. The new AMD graphics technology is actually so good that Intel have paid to use this technology in some of their chips because they just can't create something, they can't manufacture something just quite this good. The AMD APUs really have blown people away in terms of performance figures and do so at an amazing price point that makes good 1080p gaming experiences truly available to the masses. For the motherboard in this build, I kept it simple with a nice trustworthy unit. The Asus Prime B350M-E supports dual channel memory, overclocking of both the CPU, or should I say APU, and RAM on this board. You get good support for storage as well on this board and for a graphics card if you want to upgrade later on down the line. The black and red aesthetic works fantastically well for the colour scheme I've gone for in today's build, and also has a couple of LED elements here and there to just spruce things up and make things look even nicer. For the memory in this build, I selected two 4GB DIMMs of Corsair's Vengeance LPX. For APUs, it's crucial, it's key that you go for both fast memory, hence the choice of 2666 MHz clocked kit here, and also go for two DIMMs. That's because traditionally a separate graphics card, a separate graphics chip, would have its own GDDR5 or HBM memory to call upon. An APU has to resort to using the DRAM, the system's main memory, if you will. That's why faster memory with two DIMMs for dual channel performance and increased bandwidth will really increase frame rates by quite some margin. It's also worth noting to anyone who chooses to build this, you should tweet your pictures on Twitter, it's @Geekawatt, that you will want to go straight to AMD's website and download the latest CPU drivers for even more free performance. It really will make a big difference. For the storage in this build, I selected a Seagate Barracuda 2TB hard drive. 2TB may seem a little bit overkill for some people, however once you start installing 60, 70GB games onto your machine, suddenly a 1TB drive can fill up far faster than you may initially anticipate. The 7200 RPM speed is as fast as your mainstream consumer hard drives get, and the 3.5-inch form factor is fairly standard. I've never had a bad experience with a Seagate hard drive, and this 2TB unit at the time of filming did come in slightly cheaper than the Western Digital Caviar Blue counterparts, although I will link all the parts mentioned with up-to-date pricing for Amazon, B&H, Newegg in all loads of different regions in the description below. For the penultimate part in today's build, of course the case, I selected the Cooler Master Q300P. I reviewed this case very recently and you can find that video in the card section here, and it builds upon their cheaper Q300L chassis. With acrylic panels, two included RGB fans up front and a 120mm unit at the rear, RGB implementation at the top of the case, and four identical handles/feet. It looks amazing and comes in at a really quite affordable price point. It gives us all the features we need with a fairly basic interior design, whilst maintaining support for USB 3 on the front panel, as well as 3.5-inch and 2.5-inch drives simultaneously. Overall, no complaints, really happy with this chassis so far. For the final part in today's APU based build, I selected a TR2 500W power supply from Thermaltake. It has all the bells and whistles we need whilst remaining basic and coming in at a really affordable price point. The 80+ certification guarantees really good efficiency figures, and it has all the cables plugged in we could possibly need. It also comes in at a cheap, affordable price point, which works well to extrapolate the most value in this build and leave other money for part upgrades such as the higher end APU that I selected in this gaming PC build guide. But that I think just about wraps it up. If you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button and do subscribe if you want to see more from me. Ding dong that YouTube notification bell if you actually want to get the new videos in your sub boxes. And as always, we'll see you in the next GeekOptimized video.
Looking at me, and when you smile